Hey everyone, DIY guy here. Today we're placing the water outlet on a 2014 Chevy Cruze. Get you over to this water outlet. So it is right here. It's hard to see from here, but it's on the side of the block. It's actually attached to the motor. It's right there, that black thing on the side right there. That's your water outlet. The tools you're gonna need are some hose clamp pliers. Try not to use no needle nose pliers. It will be extremely hard. Had a hard time. A 3/8 inch ratchet, some extensions. A 3 inch and a 6 inch should be fine. I just bought a whole set, but you might not even use the 6 inch. You want yourself some E sockets. A 3/8 is fine, or a 1/4 inch. Also, you're gonna need a click type torque wrench or any type of inch pound torque wrench. If you don't have one, fine, just snug it up. Don't go too crazy. Also, you're gonna need some gloves, protect your hands because you're dealing with coolant. Also, if you're changing out the coolant reservoir hose, this is the part number 626609 from Dorman. We cross-referenced, came back to this one. Also, of course, you're gonna need the water outlet from AC Delco. This is the part number here. Let's get into it. So first, you want to start by removing this metal clip around the coolant reservoir hose. Don't lose that clip because if you're reusing the hose, you're gonna need that clip. If you're not and you're replacing the hose, it'll come with a new clip. Just don't let it fall down into the engine. You don't want that to happen. Now, when you remove this hose, you're gonna lose coolant. That's fine. Even if you drain the coolant, you still lose coolant because it's inside the water outlet. So once you do that and the coolant starts to flow out, just let it flow. Try to put something under the car to catch the coolant from getting all over the place under the car. If you're in your driveway, you don't want that on your driveway. Also on the street, you could get a fine or something like that. So just try to catch the coolant when it comes down. You're gonna want to go ahead and grab your hose clamp pliers. Here you could use the needle nose. They should be fine. But if you see, I had a little bit of trouble because of the way these things were angled. You also want to be careful because the coolant reservoir, the piece that goes into that hose is plastic. It's not like the OEM where they put metal in it. So I'm in the aftermarket where they put metal in it. So you want to get that off. Like I said, put it to the side. If you're not gonna use it, don't even worry about it. If you're gonna replace it, that's fine. If you're gonna reuse it, just be careful with it. Get it up out your way. Now here, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to remove the clip that's on the water outlet that holds the oxygen sensor to it. A little flat blade screwdriver will pop it right out. Once you get that out, you could go ahead and start disconnecting the oxygen sensor. So as you see here, you just push it up. There's a little tab in the middle that kind of locks them into each other. As you start to pull that little middle tab up there, you're gonna see that the sides start to pop out and also that it starts to release itself from the opposite connector. That middle thing basically does all the work for you. You just gotta like tug on it a little bit to get it up. Once you get it up though, you'll see that they will start to separate and they'll come right apart. Then you want to take the wire, you want to get it about your way. You don't want to get no coolant in it. If you do, use some CRC QC cleaner. Um and just check your wires, make sure ain't none of them frayed, ripped, anything like that. So you just want to double check all your work. Once you get the wire up out of the way, excuse me, you want to start taking off your map sensor connector. There's a little red tab on there. You could pop the tab out. I had popped mine out. Then once you push that little clip, I mean the clip in there. Once you push down that little tab, slide back. It should come right out. Again, you want to push them wires up out of the way, trying not to get no coolant in them. Then there's another little clip on the water outlet that I'm gonna get to, but here I'm gonna take off this hose first because it was easier. I did it off camera because I had struggled with it a lot. And then I noticed that there was a crack in the water outlet itself that went into the piece that went into that hose, and I'll show you guys in a little bit. But you want to take this hose and you just want to tuck it, get it about your way, so you could go ahead and proceed. And once you got that tucked away, you're gonna come over to the throttle body. Well, this is the clip I was telling you about. There's usually a little clip on there. Take it out, mine and have it, but then you want to push down on the tab and kind of pull up on the connector. That's just like the coolant that's inside there. I think that's like a temperature sensor type connector. And you want to come to your throttle body, pop the clip off, and then you want to remove the plug, the connector to the throttle body. You could push down on the tab and use your other hand to push toward the passenger side of the car and it'll pull right off. It should be easier. And once you got that off, like I said, just put all the wires together and push them up out of your way. You're gonna want to get yourself a flat blade screwdriver, and then you're gonna want to start to unscrew the worm hose clamp. It's pretty simple. You don't need to remove it all the way. Just you want to remove it. Also, you're gonna tug at this hose a little bit. It's on there a little bit, but once you get it off, just push it off to the side. Like I said, just get it up out your way. Now, as you can see here, this is the hole I was telling you guys about earlier. It had to already be there. There wasn't coolant leaking from there. It was leaking down at the bottom of the block and just pooling up right in between the water outlet and the oil filter. So there go the screws there that you're gonna need to take off. They're literally directly under each other and one in the front. You're gonna go ahead and remove all that, wipe down the maintenance service, get your water outlet. You're gonna want to, size it up. You want to put the back hose on first. It makes it easier. You want to hand tighten these screws by hand. You do not want to use the torque wrench or anything like that. You want to do them by hand because it is plastic. It is going into the block, but it is plastic and you will crack it. It's only 71 inch pounds. I repeat, 71 inch pounds, which was equivalent to about 5.9 foot pounds. So you don't need to go extremely hard, trust me. So if you don't have the click tight or the torque wrench or whatever, just snug them down and just check for leaks. Now after you do that, I went ahead and I put everything on. You're gonna want to leave the booster hose off for it until the end. You're gonna want to connect everything first because the booster hose does make it a little harder. Um so once you connect everything, put all your hoses back together. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick. You're gonna go, well, I'm sorry, here you're gonna wanna, like I said, you're gonna wanna put the booster hose on last. But don't lose that metal clip there. Remember what I said, do not lose that metal clip. But then you're gonna want to connect the oxygen sensor and connect it to the actual to the water outlet clip. There's a clip on the water outlet. Come to find out, they actually come with the oxygen sensor when you buy them. But you're gonna go ahead and clip that onto the water outlet. You're gonna want to keep the booster hose out of the way for this. Also, when you put the map sensor connector back on, do not forget that red clip because that red clip, it really holds it together. So once you go ahead and put your oxygen sensor to the water outlet, go ahead and put your map sensor connector back on. Don't forget that red clip. Then I'm gonna show you a little trick with the water coolant. Excuse me. I'm gonna show you a little trick with the coolant. If you go over to the passenger side to the radiator, you're gonna see a yellow screw. That's your coolant air bleeder valve. I'm gonna show you that yellow screw in a moment. You're gonna want to take that all the way out, and pour coolant in the reservoir tank until you see a stream come out of that hole. When you see a little stream come out of that hole, you're good. You could close that hole back up. I'm about to show it to you now. You see, I'm tightening. Making sure everything's tight. But there go that screw. Like I said, you're gonna want to fill up your coolant tank. You're gonna want to wait until you see coolant come out of there. Once you see coolant come out of there, replace that screw. Then go over to the coolant, fill it up to max. Start the car. These two hoses here, as they get to operating temperature, you're going to want to make sure they're hot because if they're not hot, it's going to indicate a problem. So once you do that and you got everything, you should be good to go. If you found this video helpful, useful, please like, subscribe, and give me a thumbs up.